On to Dallas for the Houston Texans. Texans versus Cowboys this week. Texans with a firm lead atop the AFC South, but very, very valid questions as to whether or not this team is a contender. It's S&L, Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. We also got some news in the NFL that has a lot of Texans fans making early Christmas wishes that has to do with the most polarizing figure in town. You know who I'm talking about.
Damn it, Bobby.
But we'll get to that in a second. First, though, let's talk about this Cowboys game. Texans versus Cowboys. They open as a 7.5-point favorite. We've seen this team up and down. How does that? It's up to 8 now, by the way. How does the 8-point line make you feel, given what we've seen from the Texans and given how bad we've seen the Cowboys play since Dak Prescott got hurt?
And the Cowboys have been absolutely pathetic since Dak Prescott went down, and he's not coming back at all this season. Jerry Jones just announced
they weren't good with him though either. Let's be clear.
Sure, but they were definitely a team that could have kept close with the Texans if they had Dak Prescott. They don't have Dak Prescott. They don't have good quarterback options. But does this Texans team, even in a get-right opportunity, feel like the type of team that's absolutely going to blow somebody out on a primetime game in their house? Like, the Texans haven't given off those kind of vibes or that level of confidence that they're going to get things going to that level. I mean, even the New England Patriots game was 14-7 at halftime. Yeah, they got going there in the third quarter and ultimately won that thing by 20 points. But this doesn't feel like a Texans team that is going to march into a Monday Night Football game, make it a route, and have everybody getting ready for Tuesday by halftime.
No, I don't think so, but I will say this when it comes to the Texans. First of all, I took the -8. But I'm just going to say this. The Texans can't afford to lose to the Cowboys. Like, you can make a case that they can still win the division if they lose to the Cowboys, but when it comes to just the sanity of the fan base, the overall feel of the team, the opportunity laid out when it comes to the schedule, they can't afford this. And there's – I think it's funny – but there's a lot of people in Houston that kind of, I don't want to use the word obsessed, but there's a big passion about the Cowboys to where if you asked who your least favorite team was, Cowboys would get a hell of a chunk when it comes to least favorite in Houston. I think it's kind of weird because I don't think that's the same in Dallas. I think in Dallas, they just kind of go about their business and they have their division rivals, but there is a strong distaste for the Dallas Cowboys in Houston. And when you look at what's happened to the Texans the last 2 weeks, they've been embarrassed on primetime. Amazon saw them get embarrassed by the Jets. Sunday Night Football saw them get embarrassed by the Lions. And now you face a Cowboys team that you're supposed to beat that's not very good, where all is lost. When it comes to the fan base, when it comes to the patience, I think the most optimistic can kind of forgive you for losing a Thursday night game to the Jets on short rest. They can forgive you for losing to one of the best teams in the league, regardless of how it looked like. But if you go and lose to this dog-butted Cowboys team, I think the honeymoon, if it's still existing for some, is going to be gone. And if you look at it even further, you have the next 3 games against teams that are really bad, that will most likely be drafted in the top 10 of the draft. Before the bye, you have the Cows, you have the Titans, and you have the Jags. 3 of the worst teams in the league right now. After that, it gets a little bit more difficult. You're going to have Miami, you're going to have Baltimore, you're going to have Kansas City. So it's in your best interest to do what you've really done to this point, to their credit, I guess, and beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And this is one of those teams, and this is more than just a loss. I don't think DeMeco Ryans can afford to lose a game to the Cowboys. And the other thing is they suck. So if you're going out there, all that aside and all the feelings and all that stuff aside and the layout of the schedule, they suck. They're not good. They got Cooper Rush at quarterback. Trey Lance is basically on standby. You can't afford to lose your 3rd straight game and lose 3 straight primetime games, the last one being a team up 45 that everyone hates around here that just flat out sucks. They're not a good team at all. You can't afford that.
Yeah. It would be a parachute point in the season. And what I mean by that is you pull the parachute and you're out of there. You're bailing on the season for a lot of people if you lose to the Dallas Cowboys. And I do wonder what would happen in the locker room if you lose to the Dallas Cowboys. That'd be 3 straight losses. That'd be 3 of your last 4 if you lose to the Dallas Cowboys. And that's where I feel like people and players in the locker room will start looking around and be like, this is not going anywhere close to what we thought it was going to be. Because I know, people outside the Texans had high expectations for this team and where can they go and what can they accomplish. This locker room clearly had high expectations for what they were going to put together. And if they have a midseason swoon where they lose 3 out of 4, they lose 3 straight primetime games, that would be just a huge, huge obstacle to overcome from a mentality standpoint. They really got to get these next 3, head into the bye week with some momentum, even if it's, and I would go as far as to say they need to get these next 3 soundly and head into the bye week feeling really good about the direction they're going, not just like hobble to the bye and then finish strong in the Final 4. Like, they kind of need to soundly get to the bye week, and it starts with the Dallas Cowboys.
You're getting greedy now, brother. You're getting really greedy, expecting them to win games soundly. What the hell have you been watching?
This is
let's make some realistic expectations. I don't know what the
you
hell
just took them to beat the Cowboys by more than 8 points. What are you watching?
Yeah, I'm watching the Cowboys play, but you're saying
Tennessee and Jacksonville the Cowboys.
Yeah, you're talking soundly. They've won 1 game soundly this week, my friend, or this season. 1.
Yeah, it was against a team that's better than the Jaguars and the Titans.
Yeah, but yeah, 3 soundly dubs. You're getting greedy now, man. Is that Kool-Aid in that cup?
No, it's a cran cherry diet.
Okay, I can see that. It must have the same effect to Kool-Aid.
And they put some vodka in it, though. The Texans make me drink.
3 sound dubs is very unrealistic with the squad. But I'll just tell you this right now:
8 points on Monday Night Football is unrealistic.
What? Did you watch Cooper Rush play? They're not good.
Have you watched the Jacksonville Jaguars play with Mac Jones? They're not good.
I have not. I've kind of avoided that. They're kind of off the radar. Same thing with the Titans with Will Levis. My point is this: you can't lose. Like, of all the games to lose, it's one thing to lose and embarrass yourself like the Texans have the last 2 weeks. DeMeco Ryans Texans, you cannot afford to lose to the Dallas Cowboys. You cannot.
Can you even afford like a crappy performance? Like wouldn't and it's obviously not as bad as a loss. A loss is horrific. But like, can you afford a crappy win against the Cowboys?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can. Yes, this team just needs to win. They need to get back in control of things, and then who knows what happens with the Titans. But yeah, I'm not style pointing this ball club. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take it that far and style point them. But you do got to get this dub against the Cows. You have to. Can't lose it.
The scary part about 3 weeks ago, they beat the Indianapolis Colts, and it was a scary win that didn't have a lot of style points to it, and they walked in ahead of the Jets and acted like everything was fine because they'd gotten a victory. So I just wonder if that would be the case with the Cowboys. If they just skate by, they'd act like everything is fine because they beat the Dallas Cowboys regardless of the result.
Yeah, I don't know whether they'll act like it's fine or not. I just know you can't lose this one, brother. You can't lose this one, brother. And I do wonder, what the things to be scared of. I think Micah Parsons probably wants to beat CJ Stroud a little bit more. I think Micah Parsons could probably give this offensive line some fits.
Micah Parsons needs to bail on the podcast for a minute until the Cowboys are worth a crap again.
Not going to happen. And the funniest thing about him is he's the guy who says something and then starts blaming people for exactly what he said. He starts to generalize the media and say stuff. It's like, brother, you said what you said. But he doesn't really stand out. He's an interesting character. Drama seems to follow him from high school to college, everywhere. It just seems to go with Micah Parsons. But it's a scary thought.
He could wreck the game.
He can wreck the game, but on the other side, I think the Texans defense, that's the one good thing they have going for them is this defense, whether they're healthy, whether they're not, DeMeco's defense is ready to go. Probably not going to have Kamari Lassiter this week, but Cowboys don't have too many receivers. Just can't afford to lose that one. Will the Texans have Nico Collins? That's another question that is asked. And I want to ask this about Nico Collins. Was the handling of Nico Collins a bit? Did you think that was a big bit, the manner in which they handled Nico Collins? I've made it very clear. I don't mind if you're going to rest Nico Collins after you see all the teams in the division lose, and you're just going to try to be as healthy as possible at the end of the season and all that, because I'm okay with that as long as you keep your elite talent healthy. I know a lot of people disagree. I get it. But the manner in which they handled it, did you think that was a little bitty by DeMeco Ryans?
Totally. And I can't. They could do what you're agreeing with, which is the not play Nico Collins and not have done a bit. And you're the king of calling out bad bits. I can't believe this didn't infuriate you the way they operated with this. If they didn't want to play Nico Collins against the Detroit Lions, they didn't have to open his practice window. They didn't have to put him on the active roster, and there wouldn't even have been a question that he was playing on Sunday night. But they practiced him on a Friday practice that's basically a walkthrough. They put him on the active roster after they opened the practice window, and he had no chance of playing, it seems. Like, that was bad by the Houston Texans, and I didn't like that, and I thought it was dumb. It gave you no advantage over the Detroit Lions to do that. The Lions didn't stay up for 2 days straight trying to rework their defensive game plan to get ready for Nico Collins maybe playing. It was a bad bit. I didn't like it. I felt it was disrespectful to the fans to give them the hope that Nico Collins is going to play on primetime. I didn't like it.
So why do you think it was? Do you think it was a result to the Colts losing? Do you think it was a predetermined bit? Like, what do you think there was some sort of setback? Like, what would you like? This is all speculation, just so you know, but like, what is the reasoning for the bit? If you're saying it's a bit,
I guess they wanted a small bit of gamesmanship and felt like they could get the Lions to think about Nico Collins playing. But, 90 minutes before the game, it becomes official. Hell, Friday afternoon, Ian Rappaport acted like he knew Nico Collins wasn't playing. So, or Saturday afternoon, Ian Rappaport acted like he knew Nico Collins. If Ian Rappaport knows, the Lions know. So there's literally no benefit to what they did. So I can't even begin to guess why they did it. Unless a Friday practice.
What if it was a reaction to what happened in the division, where we're not losing any ground on the division? What if that was the reaction? What if that was what they were doing?
I didn't agree with that operation to begin with, so I didn't like that being the plan either. Okay. If he's healthy, he should play. That was my thought process.
Yeah, I get that. I wonder if that was it, because I mean you're opening a window. Like, if he's not ready to go and you've opened the window, then what exactly was accomplished would be my thing. That's why I asked that question.
If it was a pivot based off of the reactions, if it was a pivot based off of the results of Sunday, then why do they even game plan? Why do we hear about game plans and stuff like that? Because if they had to, did they build 2 game plans in case the Colts won?
So you think Nico Collins just wasn't part of the game plan? You think it was that much of gamesmanship?
Yes, I don't believe they had any intention of playing him, and it was flat gamesmanship.
Okay, well, I really don't know. I mean, I don't know what's benefited from it. On the other side, we talked about Dallas. They announced their starter Monday, which I don't think you want to follow the Dallas model. So I'm not going to sit here and say if they can do it, you do it. So I don't think you want to follow the Dallas model, but that was that's kind of what they do. But different coaches handle it different ways. I think there is an element of keeping it real going wrong with the way that DeMeco Ryans handles injuries, where his heart's always in the right place when it comes to players, and he wants to protect players sometimes at the extreme. But I think with injuries, a lot of times he opens up more questions and more criticism for players with the manner in which he handles it. And Christian Harris is the example. Like, you're getting mad at me for asking if Christian Harris, or not mad, but you're being sarcastic about Christian Harris not going on Monday. I'm trying to dismiss it so people don't think that something more serious is wrong. I know he's not coming back till probably December. I've been saying that. I'm giving you a chance at the beginning of the week to dismiss it so that people aren't sit there speculating, acting like he has like a stub toe or something like that. So like when you keep these things private and you don't say it, you might be protecting the player, but you're also like, right now there's reports out there. And Aaron was right about he was right about the O-lineman last week, but there's been like the Nico Collins reports between Aaron and Rapp and all that. It was confusing to follow, but they're saying that they're basically saying that, and I know that I'm on board with this, but I don't think a lot of people are. And I think the wording is kind of tough for someone like Nico Collins, but the notion is he's healthy and he can play, but he's not playing. And that is far, like if it were Laramie Tunsil or something like that, and you were saying that, I would be like, okay, well, I mean, he's always going to err on that. He's usually going to err on the side of caution. Sometimes he'll play hurt, but that Nico Collins probably would have played 3 weeks ago if you would have let him. Like, you have to protect him for himself. And the fact that there's like a notion right now that Nico Collins might be true, and it might be their line of thinking, but the notion that Nico Collins is fully healthy and can't play, I think it's unfair to the player. And I get what they're trying to do, and they're not the ones reporting it. But I just don't think that really benefits Nico Collins, and I don't know how much it benefits the team if we're going back to the bit.
And there's no question about if Nico can play or not, or if you're questioning Nico's toughness, or having any criticism of Nico if he's not active, if he's still on IR, if the practice window's open but he's not on the roster. Like, they very easily could have practiced him Friday, opened the practice window, not activated him, and then it's pretty easy to logically determine he's not ready to play yet based off of one practice. They didn't want to play him. So, okay, don't play him. But now, because he's active and you activate him on a Saturday afternoon before Sunday, and he's on the active roster, it opens up the potential for people to be like, is Nico not good? Like, is he not, he can't play through an injury? He's not tough enough. And I do agree with the IR was saving Nico Collins from himself. He probably would have tried to play Indianapolis and New York 4 days later.
I think that was a smart move, not making him play twice in 5 days.
Yeah.
I think that was a smart move.
We both said that at the time. You're going on IR, that keeps him from that potentially dangerous re-injury window of 2 games in 5 days, and one of them being in New York against the Jets.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how they handle it. But I think it's kind of a keeping it goes wrong type of element. I think it's interesting the way that they handle it. And we'll see what happens. They're going to get with how bad things are. The one thing you can say is they're going to get Nico Collins back eventually. And then they're going to get Christian Harris back probably in December down the stretch. And we'll see how they handle that. So they're really, really good players coming back. We'll see how that goes. It is S&L, Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Let's swarm the super chat real quick here on a Tuesday.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Frankie Bone says we need Nico for the Chiefs and Ravens more than we did the Lions. Smart move to not play him and risk re-injuring in a meaningless game. Well, there's a chance the Chiefs and Ravens are meaningless if you take care of business. Like, if they would have taken care of the Lions, then the division could be wrapped up. If they take care of the next 3, then, I mean, I don't know if you're going to catch Baltimore or Kansas City. The Kansas City game is going to be irrelevant. I mean, if you're looking at it from beating Kansas City and gaining ground, like, you're not catching the Chiefs. Like, that's not going to happen. So there's a chance that KC game, as exciting as it is to play the Chiefs, could actually be meaningless. Appreciate you for coming through, Frankie. AMAC got jokes. He says Stoots right guard, Locker OC.
Landry doesn't have an interior offensive lineman body. Landry's clearly a tackle.
He said I was the OC, buddy.
Oh, OC. I thought he was saying center.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying center because I was the right guard.
No, yeah. Well, duh. He's saying you're fat. If we're being honest.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. He's saying you're fat, and he's saying I'm smart, which I think that might be the best super chat ever. Shout out to Frankie. Get it out, man.
I'm not having fun.
Texan, hey, Landry, you going to ask the hard questions to Howard and Tunsil about leadership and how they responded compared to CJ and Mixon? No, I mean, I just think it is what it is. I talked yesterday about how CJ and Mixon as captains, they respond one way, and we don't hear from Laramie Tunsil. I just said that is what it is. Look, I don't have any reason to talk to Laramie Tunsil. Like, at this point, it's kind of a little cliquey, like type of vibe over there. He clearly doesn't want to talk. They clearly don't want to make him talk. We might ask Titus about the strip and stuff, but it just kind of is what it is with Laramie Tunsil. It is what it is with Laramie Tunsil. He's not. There's a lot of water carrying that goes on with that. Let's just be honest about it.
Did you see what Aaron wrote about the offensive line?
I did not. What did he say?
Well, he said that I guess at some point he talked to Laramie Tunsil, and Laramie Tunsil said
so when they say when Laramie Tunsil's not talking, it's just go over and get quotes. Okay.
The frustration's high because we should have won the football game, is what Tunsil said. And then against the Lions, there was an awkward moment where it looked like right tackle Titus Howard intentionally stripped the football from Stroud. Howard was actually just trying to keep Stroud from falling, and it went badly. Howard recovered the fumble.
He was not trying to keep him from falling. He was trying to do what Caleb Williams did when he was a Sooner. Have you seen the Caleb Williams play?
Where it's like an O-lineman like dragged him, right?
No, the O-lineman was about to get tackled, or the running back, and he grabs it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah. Hold on.
Why do they lie for these guys?
Howard recovered. Hold on.
Like the beat writers, how they handle this. This is not our thing.
Howard recovered the fumble in the fourth quarter. Howard declined a formal interview, but explained it was simply accidental.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't mean to strip it out of his hands. He wanted to grab it.
He was just trying to keep it from falling.
Football. Like, let's not.
No, Landry was trying to keep it.
Can't be this obvious for the lies, dude. Like, you can't be this obvious for the lies. Like, if you're going to carry water, carry it right. You can't be this obvious. This is like when Tunsil had, maybe he was hurt, but he had his worst game ever against Josh Allen and the Jags last year. You remember that?
Yeah.
And BNMA said it that they battled and went toe to toe. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's Titus Howard wasn't trying to take the ball from CJ Stroud. Yes, he was. He was trying to do that offensive line thing. Yes, he was. Like, he 100% was. He wanted to have his moment. It's crazy, dude. Like, it's not. And then, like, the problem with it for me, like, as when it comes to like investigating, is, and we're taking y'all behind the scenes of the conversations we have like off the air. This is just kind of the discussion. Me and Cody are digital beat reporters. Okay, we're digital beat reporters. That is our field. That is our area. We feel that is the future. Successful radio career, digital beat reporters. That's what we are. So there's an element of entertainment. There's an element of, it's basically taking everything and lumping it in. Okay, we're not beat writers. And we try to follow the stories and stuff just like y'all. Like, I think Ian Rappaport probably got texted and told Nico Collins wasn't playing Saturday, if we're being honest. That's
why he changed his tweet.
Yeah, I don't think Texans PR would want like that out there, but I love Texans PR. I think it's obvious. They text Ian Rappaport and told him. So that's probably a source. I think that's kind of telegraphed. If you're going to carry water like that for the offensive line, let's just do a little investigating here. If you're going to carry water like that, and say that Titus Howard was not trying to take the ball from CJ's arms. First of all, I don't think it's necessary. I think you can just leave that out and just ask him what happened and then put quote marks around him saying that. Don't present that as your opinion. What's the you basically like in journalism school?
He declined a formal interview, so you can't put the quotes.
Okay, but here's the thing. When you put the quote marks like in journalism class, you're basically freeing yourself from like putting yourself out there in your opinion. So you're getting his opinion and you're putting it. As soon as you say what he was doing without the quote marks, you're essentially saying what you know and everyone else knows is not true. And when that happens, and then all of a sudden you're hearing all this stuff from like reporting where, and this is just me being like you and looking at it. When you hear, well, so-and-so almost got benched in the offensive line, and they're changing the offensive line before they actually change the offensive line. It just makes you logically wonder, okay, well, maybe there's a reason that the water is getting carried. That's just me. I wouldn't even dare like ask the questions of people that are doing this, but that's just me. That seems a little bit weird as someone who consumes this information, presents this information to you. That just seems a little bit strange to me, Cody. I'm sorry, because you don't have to do that. Like, is that, unless that's like some sort of thing, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm sorry. That's just me.
Yeah. When I read that Aaron had the explanation for the Titus thing, I just shook my head.
Yeah. Cause it's not true. He was trying to take the ball from him.
Yep.
It could have been no harm if he would have gotten the ball. Maybe he gets an extra few yards. Maybe he has a heroic moment. But let's not act like he was trying to keep him up. And quite frankly, keeping him up in that situation is just as dangerous. Get his ass on the ground. Or just, if you're trying, just hold him. And
hey, Hey, if you're trying to keep him up, maybe you just keep blocking.
Up. Yeah.
Well, maybe you just keep blocking your guy and don't let that guy ultimately make the tackle.
Yeah, that was wild. DeMeco Ryan speaking today. It is S&L. Are we going to get more of the same? How many times are we going to hear the word execute? Are we going to get the execute bit from DeMeco?
Should we try to set an execute over under?
5?
I go 5.5, and I'll go under. I think we could get 5 right on the nose.
So we're going to get, because Slowik's speaking on Friday this week, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll hear from Slowik on Friday.
Correct. Everything gets pushed back a day.
Yeah, they're off tomorrow. Today's essentially a Monday, but we'll hear from Slowik, for sure. By the way, if I were a Texan, do they have to do anything on Saturday? They have to fly together, huh?
Yeah,
they do. Okay, I would want to go early Friday. Go check out that Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight at Jerry World.
Oh.
Little bit, dude.
No, they have like a full on. No, they fly Sunday. They have a full on practice Saturday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I would still want to go see that. That would be.
Can we practice in Dallas on Saturday so we go see Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
Nah, they're Friday. They're smart. Nah, they're doing the Paul and Tyson's Friday, and then John Jones and Stipe are Saturday. So they're not trying to compete with John Jones and Stipe.
No, I'm saying, like, if you go up Friday, you could practice in Dallas on Saturday, hang out Sunday with the off day, and then play Monday Night Football.
So we're gonna get execute today from DeMeco.
I say under 5.5. That's my guess. Under 5.5.
Texan says, "Will you ask Howard why he stripped CJ?" If he speaks, we'll ask what happened. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Titus said he would talk on. I believe he said I'll talk later when he declined to talk after the game.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And it'll be interesting. But yeah, we'll get execute from
what else are we gonna get from DeMeco?
I mean, more of the same. Yeah, just more of the same. I really don't expect much from DeMeco at this point. Like after losses, I think DeMeco is no better than Bob, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm to that point. I like the wisdom, but I think at this point he's no better than Bob when it comes to after losses. He's not. I mean, do you think he is?
I think the presentation is better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it changes. Who knows? But I mean, it's been a bad look for him the last 4 weeks. He's been very annoyed by questions about offense. But I mean, he'll be on to Dallas, and he'll talk about the offensive line, and he'll talk about what I want to know is, he said they'll look at the play calling after the game. Okay.
On Sunday.
Okay.
Who does that? Who looks at the play calling? Like who in the building analyzes the play calling, and what's his role in analyzing what the offense was able to put together?
I don't know. Gustavo on the super chat. I'm not trying to sound too defeated. I don't like the way DeMeco is making himself look up there. I don't like that people are getting a little bit sour on DeMeco, and he's let me down the last few weeks.
Well, he can fix it anytime he wants. And he can be better at the podium anytime he wants. So he's doing it to himself.
Gustavo says, since I'm off, I'll take a shot every time Bill O'Brien says I got to coach better. We got to execute. Okay. But yeah, I'm shout out to Gustavo, my guy. I don't like that he's making himself look this way, dude. Like I'm a big DeMeco guy. You know that. I wouldn't trade DeMeco for any coach in the league. It's just he goes up there and
protects his guys.
But he's not. We got to execute. Like, no kidding. Like, you can say that about anything. I don't expect him. And what they say, it's more so about what he says and then what they do. They don't do anything. There's nothing different. Which brings us to the news in the around the league. Texan says, can I get a damn it, Bobby, for Butterbean Bobby Slowik?
Damn it, Bobby. Damn it, Bobby.
There you go, my friend.
Butterbean Bobby Slowik. Look what you've done.
Butterbean Slowik. That's what I'm calling him. Butterbean Bobby.
Butterbean Bobby's better than Butterbean Slowik. Butterbean Bobby.
Butterbean Bobby. Can't go the distance. Can't go the distance, just like Butterbean. Butterbean Bobby.
If he doesn't knock you out, he not beating you.
Butterbean Bobby. Okay.
Butterbean
We got
Bobby.
it. From now on this show, he is Butterbean Bobby. There you go. Texans, shout out to you. You know I love a good nickname.
Oh, yeah.
Butterbean Bobby. That's what it is. Kyle Brinkmeyer, is DeMeco's coaching style too positive and relaxed to give players true accountability when they fail at their job? I would say, I'll let you answer this, Stoots. But I would say no, because he gets the most of his defense. I think he just might have an offensive blind spot. It's hard to criticize DeMeco's coaching because his expertise brings it every week, no matter what. No matter whether they have their best player or they don't, no matter whether they're missing half their starters or they're not, like his expertise and where his side of the rock is elite. It's perfect. It's awesome. They swarm. They do everything. They evaluate guys, whether it's on the street, whether it's in the draft, whatever. When it comes to every element of defense, DeMeco Ryans is there. I just think it's possible that the blind spot to the offense is on display, and that is what's holding this team back right now. That's my take. I don't think DeMeco's coaching style should be questioned at all.
He doesn't run the offense. He doesn't run the offense. That's what I would say. The defense, like to Landry's point, is run like a well-oiled machine most of the time, plugging guys in, getting the same results, all of that.
Yep. And sometimes when you don't know, you just overly trust too. Like we saw today, and this is the big news. We'll localize this as we always do. The Bears fired their offensive coordinator. We saw the Bills fire their offensive coordinator last year. Should the Texans fire Bobby Slowik is the question. I'll say this. I don't think they should right now, but if they don't get it going the next few weeks, I would say before the bye week, I would consider it. And I said this yesterday. People laughed. I don't think it's far-fetched. I would keep Gerard Johnson as quarterback coach and let Case Keenum be the OC. I really would. I don't know. No, I'm serious. I know he's an active player right now. I don't know what the legalities of that would be. I don't think it would be too big of a deal. I'm serious. Like, I don't think I don't know. I don't want to take away CJ Stroud's quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. And I don't know if Gerard can call plays. I know Case has never called plays, but I know that he knows this playbook better than anybody. He knows it like the back of his hand. I watch him whenever he's not practicing with the headset on, following around Bobby Slowik doing his thing. I watch Case Keenum at the line of scrimmage against the Titans, audibling to run plays. I watch him maximize his potential. I would be in favor of Case Keenum calling plays. I'm dead serious. I know that sounds crazy, but
that's crazy.
He's called as many plays as Gerard Johnson has. That would be my thing. I would do that. I would let Case Keenum call plays.
If you're not going to give the headset to Gerard Johnson, then you give it to Bill Lazor and let him call the plays.
No thanks. Case Keenum.
Yeah. I'm not handing the headset to a quarterback that's never been an offensive coordinator.
Let's be honest. He's an extra.
I don't care. He's not operated like a coach. I'm not handing the headset to the coach.
He's been operating like a coach for 10 years, sir. Like, he's been in every
but
meeting.
He's not the coach.
They've been calling him an extra coach at every stop that he's had for the last 10 years. Since Minnesota, he's been an extra coach.
That's fine. That's fine. Not making him the offensive coordinator. That's stupid.
That's my OC.
Yeah, that's dumb.
OC.
If you want to get worse, do that.
I'm giving it to Keenum. All right, if y'all want to give it to Lazor, give it to Lazor. I'm not giving it to Gerard. I'm not taking away the quarterback coach and changing his role. I'm not doing too much with CJ. He's still going to have Gerard by his shoulder. If y'all want to go Lazor, we can go Lazor. I'm not letting Gerard Johnson just go call plays for the first time right now as a quarterback coach. I think eventually he's going to get there. He might be the guy next year, but it's either Keenum or it's Lazor.
He's been offensive coordinator twice. We know he's called plays at least twice before.
If you don't think Case Keenum could call plays, you're crazy. He'd do it blindfolded.
Yeah. Bill Lazor or Gerard Johnson if you fire Bobby Slowik.
At this point, give it to the best Madden player. That would probably be Gerard. I would assume that Gerard would be the best Madden player, right?
Stingley's the best Madden player in the locker room. You want Derek Stingley to call the plays?
Probably not. He'd probably go for it on fourth a lot.
We're putting active players with the headset, so you know.
Well, have you seen them? The way they've called plays so far this year hasn't been great. No, I do find it interesting that Bobby is kind of the guy that gets roughed up a little bit, you know. And maybe deservedly so. I just think the tone in which Bobby Slowik has asked questions from some is just a lot different than the way that DeMeco and everyone else has asked questions. And rightfully so. I think it's fine. I think it's different. I don't think that like it's proportional. Is that fair? Is that a good observation or not?
No, it's a good observation. I would say that if DeMeco Ryans' defense was struggling to the same level that Bobby Slowik's offense was struggling, the line of questioning and the tone would not be the same.
I would agree. I would very much agree. But should they fire Bobby Slowik? A lot of people feel that way. But just kind of where we're at.
Damn it, Bobby.
Butterbean Bobby, not looking too good right now. We'll talk to him on Friday, though.
Let me do one thing before we get out of here, Landry.
Okay.
Congrats to our guys at Big City Wings for winning the Ultimate Wing Showdown from Culture Map. They are the ultimate wing champions as far as local wing spots in Houston. They won that award last night. We appreciate the folks over at Big City Wings.
You know what I like about Big City Wings? I like the appetizers. If I were consuming alcohol as much, the size of the beer mug is perfect for me. You've witnessed that firsthand. The other thing that I like, there's a lot of drink options. And also, this isn't even an ad. I don't know what you're doing. You just kind of threw that on me, brother. But anyways, the other thing I like, for some reason, like when you bring some wings home, like we got like 20, they taste good cold, bro. Maybe I was just too stoned to want to put them in the microwave. So I had them in the fridge, but man, they tasted good cold. I was just like savage eating them wings. That's just me though.
Yeah, so congrats to our friends at Big City Wings for winning that.
Yeah, there we go. For sure. All right, man. Let's get it. We got practice and we'll see how it goes. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again.